Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I am Ramsey Abushala, editor of UrbanPitch.com. We got the co-executive directors of Vibes in the building, Bridget Flores, Julio Monterosa. What's going on, y'all? The vibes are vibing right now. It's a Friday. It's a Friday night. We have a very special guest in the building.
Very special.
They passed the vibe check already.
Yeah,
Already.
They passed the vibe check.
They pulled up and they said 3 shots.
Three
Line
shots.
them up.
3 shots off the bat.
Line 'em up.
Yeah. Yo, we have a test when we bring guests on, and you guys pass the test.
Yeah, you did.
From the Give and Go podcast,
Nice.
illustrious Give and Go podcast.
Let's
you know we
go.
only do
There it
illustrious
is.
guests.
Hey,
We got Reynoso and
that's
Soltero. What's going on,
Period.
y'all?
One of the top footy podcasts out there right now.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
Reynoso
Man.
Soltero, what's going on, y'all?
Making me blush, dude.
What's
hey,
up, y'all?
Thank you. Shout out to you guys, to Urban Pitch. Thank you guys for having us, man. LA has been great so far, and we're just getting started, man.
There you go.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having us. Seriously, I think it's going to be a fun episode. Truly.
I was telling Soltero, I was like, we're trying to make plans. That's like what we should do in LA. And I was like, bro, we got to go to the best designed footy podcast in the States, Urban Pitch, bro.
He's gassing us up, bro. He's
This is
gassing
the
us
best
up.
set design
Come
in
on.
any footy podcast. I got to learn from y'all because the way this looks is absolutely beautiful, bro.
We actually were consulting for the interior design here, so we put together all these pieces.
They sent us a few
Really?
samples, and we had to pick from a few.
Yeah.
Tell us where to send the Zelle at.
We'll have our designers get in contact with
Yeah, I know. I
designers.
want to talk to him. I really
Yeah.
do. Is it the
Yeah.
like set
Yeah.
design of Dune, bro? Because this shit looks dystopian, man. It looks incredible here.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we're going for a brutalist modern design.
Okay.
Is that's the pitch that I gave to our designer?
I believe it, though.
Yeah. Well, you just got to. Well, Julio's here for the vibes, and so he gives me, and I articulate, to the designers what we're looking for. So that's pretty much what we did. It's a team
I
effort.
want somewhere where I can get drunk and fall asleep.
At the same time.
There used to be a bed in here.
Yeah,
There used to be a bed. They
Shout out
moved.
to the casting couch.
That was
You're
our
crazy.
subscribers only content.
Subscribers only-
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Right, Julio.
But y'all are coming from Austin, Texas.
Yes,
What?
sir.
How long have you been in LA, and what have been the vibes so far since y'all been here?
We got here last night.
Last night.
At least I did. It took an hour for me to be picked up. The traffic's insane.
Oh yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, vibes are absolutely incredible here in LA. It's my first time personally ever
Okay.
here.
Wow, okay.
I know Reynoso has been here in the past, but
yes.
yeah, so far I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so something we noticed. The bartenders here are very kind people.
Super,
So
happy.
so far.
Yeah.
Is that like a real thing? Am I getting carried away here? Or?
It depends on where you go, but
Okay.
like you can find if you find the right bartender and you vibe with them, then your life becomes much better. Like we had a
You know
spot
what?
here that we kind of messed it up.
The hell happened?
The char
No.
bar?
Oh,
We had the spot.
Hey,
Don't get
low
fucked.
key.
No, we
so
got him
you
fired.
messed it up.
We got
Hey,
him fired.
we were just talking about this.
No, they got new staff.
Yeah, because of us.
He got fired.
Dude,
no way.
right here down the street.
Yeah.
We would go all
Char
the
bar?
time before and after.
Yeah, he's
The
in the
bartender, the waiters would hook us up, and now they're not there.
It's because we were getting
I think-
5-6 drinks for
I
the
think they
price
were a
of
little
2.
too nice to us.
They were too nice to us, and management wasn't messing with them, and
They
they're
were
not
like,
there
you
anymore.
know what? We gotta revamp.
Yeah.
They closed for a week.
They did. No,
They had the
they
picture
did. They
and
shut down
everything.
for a week. They retooled, and we went there before today, and
And you
it
know
was
what they
just
told
like-
us today?
No, these guys are
You know?
spoiled. They charged us full price.
They,
I could never.
They did.
Damn.
I always ask for. So we do this little I don't know if you've heard of the picklebacks.
Picklebacks, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard
No,
of
so it's just
Yeah.
either whiskey or tequila, and you chase it with pickle juice.
it. Okay.
And then it's like beer. But I asked for a michelada instead of a beer, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to upcharge you." And I was like,
excuse me, do you know who I am?
I was like, "Do you know who we are?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
regulars." But that's how you know they
You just
they
gotta-
changed up
if
the
you got
staff.
an in with a bartender, you can.
It just makes a difference. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchups reports for baseball, boxing, golfing, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games, available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Yeah.
We even gave a cup away.
No, we gave him a mug. To
Urban
one of the
Pitch mug?
bartenders, yeah.
Yes.
And
I'd love a mug. You know,
yeah,
they're pretty nice.
we need to get
Right.
more of them. We only have one spare. So
We
yeah,
had
we can
5.
share.
yeah, we had
That's why we
to.
didn't put none of them. Yeah.
We put it in the middle.
Y'all gotta fight for
Display
it.
mug?
Yeah.
We didn't know who to give it.
You guys are gonna have to.
That's crazy.
We didn't know who to give it to, so we put
That's
it in
crazy.
You guys are gonna have to arm wrestle for it.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
We'll set that
We'll
up.
do it live on the
I
pod.
spent so many times watching episodes thinking there was water in these mugs, and I know now that was
not
all
water.
lies, bro.
It's not water.
That's all I'll say. It's not water.
It's air.
Yeah.
It's air.
It's
Yeah.
just for the design.
It's juice.
It's juice. It's
It's
juice.
part of the
Yeah.
design.
It's Kool-Aid.
But talk about the Give and Go podcast because I mean we were talking about this before, but we've been fans of y'all's for a long
For a
time,
while.
and the
Appreciate that.
insight, you know, the breadth of coverage that you guys do is unparalleled in my opinion at least. Talk about your guys' origins, how you guys grown, and how you guys came together in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and start. Me and Reynoso have always had an incredible bond when it comes to football. And there was a moment in 2018 when the World Cup was happening in Russia where pretty much daily we were sending each other audio tapes through WhatsApp.
Okay.
And like these would get 30, 40, 50 minutes long.
Damn.
And yeah.
Y'all were doing podcasts without the
We were
podcast.
doing a podcast
You
without
guys
the
are good
podcast.
friends.
You should bring those. You should bring those out. Bring those out.
I think actually Reynoso still has some.
Yeah, I have
You
them
should put
saved.
them like the archives,
saved.
like the
Yeah.
throwback,
Yeah, the OGs.
Yeah.
right? How
Ah,
it started, how it's
It's
going.
tough because I predicted Spain would win that tournament. So my prediction, my talk about it at the time was
Didn't even
bad.
make the group
My
stage.
analysis was bad, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the what he's talking
The
about,
heart,
the significance
passion.
of it,
Right.
is what mattered.
Sure.
We were making
Yeah.
these crazy voice messages, and from that time we would like get really drunk, and we do the classic guy talk where we're like, let's start a podcast, bro.
Yeah.
Like what guy hasn't done
Cliche,
that, right?
walking cliche.
But
yeah.
it was in almost 2 years now, 2021, when Soltero sat us down at his place and was like, yo, like I really want to go for it. I want to dedicate myself to like doing this show and providing this type of insight in regards to football. Let's try it out. And me and producer Rudd, who's in the back over there,
Hey.
have a background in video production. We've done video production. We had a video production business for like 6 years. I was a film major.
Oh, okay.
And so we knew how to like set up a shot, how to set up the lighting, the audio. We already knew all that information. And this man over here, well, he's a human encyclopedia of football knowledge.
Yeah.
And so we just sat together, we came together, started recording our takes, got controversial, and people got on board with it
formula.
right away, man. It's the formula. It's the formula. So that's
Lighting,
kinda-
a little bit of good lighting and some controversial takes. That's the formula to
It'll
success.
take you
That's all
far.
you need.
It'll
Yeah.
take you far.
Yeah, it really is interesting though, because I remember during that World Cup, sending the tapes every day. One thing that really came to light, as far as like when I would come up with my own takes and send them to Reynoso, I was like, the reason why I was sending them is because I would look to Fox Network, who was hosting the World Cup
Yeah.
at the time, and I was looking for them to give me good analysis.
Not Fox.
Not Fox. That's what was my conclusion at the end of that. I was like, these guys know less than half of all the research that I've done to learn the game. So I'm like, why don't me and Reynoso start something up ourselves, because we know twice as much as these guys, and not even coming from an egotistical place, but like truly just from the love of the game, the passion for the sport of football. I was like, let's spread this knowledge, let's spread this love, because it's so apparent that we have that between me and Reynoso.
How did you guys meet originally?
grew up together. I mean, due to religion, his parents are like my godfather and godmother,
wow.
you know?
Oh,
So like my
wow.
parents and
So you
his
guys-
parents have known each other for life. And
Yeah, I've known him since I was like 5 years old, literally.
same
Oh,
soccer
wow.
team growing up. And then like when I was like 13, 14, I moved to a house that's like a block away from him. So
Right.
we've always been really close. I went to his birthday parties. He had a different best friend growing up though, and I'll never regret.
That's
bro.
crazy.
Yeah, I'll never let that go, bro. I'll never let that
Tell us
go.
how you really
Ray,
feel.
So how did that make you feel?
Hey, that's not what I'm here for,
Where's
bro.
that best friend now?
Damn, dude, I'm gonna have a breakdown on Urban Pitch, man. Good lord. But we were great friends.
He's a reporter for Fox now.
want to know. We want to know.
It was Alexi Lalas.
We want to know all the
Taylor
tea.
Tobin, I hate you. Still hate you, Taylor.
It is crazy though, because we didn't start talking football until we were like 21.
Yeah.
And so we were friends our entire lives, but we didn't start connecting until very late into like our early 20s, mid 20s, and that's when we really started connecting about it. So it's weird. Like we always knew who we were. We hung out, but it wasn't until recently that we actually shared this common thing about football. It's pretty insane, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a panel yesterday with Latinx in sports, and the panelists were talking about how in like this time of the year and within these generations, like there's people out there that are super passionate about the game that are doing more work than the actual broadcasters and reporters that are out there. So I think you bring up a really good point about like how you met and like why you created what you created, and especially like just like putting it out there for people that feel like maybe like could resonate with the way that you have this conversation, right? Like with someone that you grew up with and like you had those conversations, and like it just feels a little bit different than like watching Fox Sports and you're just like there, like, what are you trying to like? Give me the details, you know? Where did the name come from? I'm curious of that.
Oh man, we had a whole list. There was
had a
during
list.
COVID, a year before he sat down and prompted the idea of like creating a podcast together. We tried like a pilot episode.
We tried.
under the name The Pitch Invaders was our name. We tried The Pitch Invaders.
It's still on YouTube.
If you go on
Oh, for
YouTube and look
real?
up The Pitch Invaders Champions League predictions, you can like find our old like attempt at trying to create the give and go.
Props to y'all for keeping that up there.
Yeah, man.
I
No,
mean,
but it stopped because the Urban Pitch was like, no, we can't.
We gave him a cease and desist.
Yeah, they got legal.
Nothing prior to 2022 exists.
Right now.
They got legal, bro. They got hella legal. And when we were building up the show, we were like, well, I'm gonna send like a list of names. It was like 10 different names.
We had the double sub was a good contender.
That was a
the
good
double
one.
sub
Not
was a
bad.
good
Yeah.
one. We had a couple.
the
others.
tactical something
Yeah.
the
It was
two Scousers. We tried to get British
tried
with it
that,
at one
we
point.
tried that,
Like,
yeah.
but the give and go just felt like the most fluid one for us with like our dynamic, our chemistry, and like what it means. The play of the give and go in
Right.
football. It
Yeah.
just made sense.
Yeah.
it does make sense.
Yeah.
It flows well.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
exactly.
thank you.
Yeah, and right now, being like, American soccer fans, like right now is kind of like a crazy time to because now more people are getting in, especially since Messi came. It seems like everybody like is trying to get in on like the wave that's been slowly building up over the last few years. What have you guys seen from your perspective, being from Austin, which is a very soccer forward city? What has your guys' perspective been on just the rise of American soccer culture?
I want you to attack this one first because I feel like you know firsthand the impact it's had on the States.
I think that soccer in the United States. Okay, hold on.
No.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything, but you said a lot already.
No.
There's a
He
video
had like
going out
a-
right now about some people talking about the Messi effect. About he took a free kick. Is it because he's like the
Right.
Because
Yeah.
he's the captain. That's
yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
So that's my problem here is that I think soccer in the United States has almost two stories. There's pre-Messi and post-Messi,
Right.
which is crazy because Messi's only been here for
Right.
1 month.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
For the Leagues Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to be not careful here, but very specific in what I'm saying. So I think before Messi, the MLS was still on an incredible rise.
Sure. Yeah.
And when you can see it, the way that they structured the MLS, the way that they've gone about marketing it, making sure that every club is pretty much equal to the other,
Yeah.
it's completely different when you look at how every other league in the world is structured.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. And that's the opposite extreme of the
Yeah.
MLS,
Right,
100%. But despite that difference, I think the MLS has done such a good job at promoting the sport. But it gets really tricky because the United States is so different when you compare it to any other league out there because it's so big.
Right.
You could have an entire league within the state of Texas. You could have 20 teams and you could have an entire organization and structure and you could have an entire professional league. But what the MLS has done is that they've tried to equalize everything and they've tried to make it competitive throughout the entire market. And I think that's great. You know,
For better and for worse.
For better and for worse, because it's taken a long time. You know, the MLS has been around for 20 or actually 30 years now. I think almost 30 years. I think 27. Yeah.
96.
96 is when I think it started.
Yeah.
So it's been a long journey for the MLS, but when you look at the amount of ground that they've covered, it's been ridiculous. And then you add in the component that is Lionel Messi, and then it's times 10 within a month time span.
Yeah.
And I think that factor of Lionel Messi is going to do wonders, because everywhere he goes, at least somebody, even if it's the local news, is going to be like, Lionel Messi is here in Colorado, and that's crazy, because that's going to get people out to these games, and it's going to get more younger crowd just into the sport. Yeah. And I think the MLS has done such a good job at just promoting it as organically as they can, without just spending 40 million on some European player, right? It's been a very organic way. It's been a very natural way. So I think soccer in the United States has slowly but steadily been growing. And what's crazy about this, and what's crazy is that we are in a timeline where we are growing to the 2026 World Cup, where we as a country are now going to host the biggest event in football. And that's such a privilege, and I think we're gonna pop off on it. Yeah. Like, we're gonna go off.
But just to piggyback on that, like, just not the World Cup. We have Copa America and the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Even before that,
Nobody knows how spoiled we're gonna be in the next 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
On how much amazing soccer we're gonna have in this country, and to the point where, like, all these, like, first of all, like, we talked about this before, the NBA ran the culture. So everybody wanted to dress like these NBA players. Now, soccer is running the culture. Like, we believe it or not, like, everybody's wearing a soccer jersey. Everybody wants to rock the soccer jersey. And you ask, like, what team are you having? I don't know, it's Adidas.
Right.
like to the point, soccer fans are like, the game is growing more than the fandom is. So people know to rock the soccer jerseys, but they don't even know what league that soccer jersey's from. And it's crazy.
I know. People are buying hella Inter Miami jerseys, and they don't even know they're in last place
That's
in the
the crazy
MLS,
thing.
which is
The Bape Inter Miami collab, though.
That's fire.
Dude,
That's
that's
fire.
a game changer.
That's fire.
So, like, to the point where, like, big, like, street brands are collabing with, like,
Street brand.
with MLS is crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But that in a way, though, that's the hurdle that the United States has to overcome when it comes to the fan base, because one thing that the United States does not have is the culture of winning in football, right?
Sure.
Because you can buy an Inter Miami jersey as as someone who doesn't know the sport, and it actually looks cool, right? But you can't do that in England. Like, you're not going to buy a Luton Town jersey unless you're from Luton Town.
Sure.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so that's the one thing that the U.S. will never really cover, or at least equal, in what the European leagues have. But what's crazy is that I think the MLS is very aware of that. I think they're completely aware of it.
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
But, no, it's how crazy it is that a U.S. Open Cup final, U.S. Open Cup, is selling out for that much money nowadays. Like,
Sounds like a golfing tournament, bro.
Like last year,
The U.S. Open. Is it the U.S. Open or
It
U.S.
sounds
Open
like
Cup?
let's
Like, what are we
respect
talking
golf.
The U.S.
Here we go with this.
There it is.
No, but like a U.S. Open, last year, Sacramento Republic was in the final.
Yeah.
Tickets was going for like $20. Like, now it's like
It's a must-see event.
Inter
now.
Miami
It's an
against
A-list event.
who's the other team? They beat just Real Salt Lake.
It's
FC Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
It'll
be
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so like these
Hey, that's a supporter
Tough
shield.
team.
That's a supporter
a
shield
month ago,
favorite.
these tickets would have been going for free. Like, go to your local
I see what you're saying.
library.
I see
Go
what
to
you're
your
saying.
local library and get
Sure.
7 tickets for your family.
I see. That's true, though. That's
You're
true.
right. You're not wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong.
Bringing up a
But
good
now
point.
these tickets are going for like ridiculous prices.
But that's what surprises me the most about Messi's impact on the league is that, and we noticed it especially in the Leagues Cup game against FC Dallas, where like there was a crazy crowd, and us growing up in like near the Dallas area, going to FC Dallas games back when they were the Dallas Burn, like we saw
Sick ass jersey. By the way.
Jersey's fire.
good times.
With a-
But we saw like some pretty minimal weak crowds. And then all of a sudden, Messi comes into town, and it is jam-packed, bro. Like, people were standing in between, like, the bleachers, like, to just watch the game. And the involvement, the attention they were giving the match, I was like, this is rare, man, like, for MLS, for American soccer. It was so beautiful to see. And then, of course, Messi cooked that game. He had a crazy match, carried the team into a victory. And I'm just like, bro, this is only a month in, 4 weeks in. What is that impact going to look like over a year-long, 2-year-long span?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think Messi can win a Ballon d'Or while playing in MLS?
Ooh.
I think he's gonna win it this year.
This year,
for sure.
right?
But it's
This year.
because of the accolades that he accrued
Right.
last season
Right.
with with Argentina in the World Cup. Right?
Sure.
I think that trumps anything else. But winning it post that, like let's
Next
say next
year?
year,
But do you think
That's
like,
tough.
Yeah. So you think he'll win Ballon d'Or this
Yeah.
year, regardless
The
of
give and go
of-
thinks that he will.
All right,
No,
so my question
we
is,
got to get a vote on it one
who's
day.
going to beat the first MLS team to beat this Inter Miami?
That's
So
my
let me
question,
just give you
That is my question.
The next few games. So they have the Bulls, Nashville, LAFC,
Who are the
You
Bulls?
say the Bulls?
Chicago,
baby?
Red Bulls, the Red Bulls.
Red
Oh,
Bulls. Okay.
damn.
All right.
That-
I was like,
No,
oh, all right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I'm
Yeah,
cool
Messi hitting a little
the
post
Bulls.
up.
Yeah. Step back.
Yeah.
Levine's gonna be playing.
Sporting
DeMar
KC.
DeRozan. Oh my God,
They're going to have him on a pick.
That'd be cool.
So
Sporting
Sporting KC, Atlanta United, Toronto, Orlando, Houston, Chicago. So like, who's gonna be that first team to beat Inter Miami? You think?
Well, we were talking today on one of our earlier shoots that it might be tomorrow against New York Red Bulls only because Messi looked exhausted this last
Right.
game, playing 120 minutes.
They're talking about maybe not even playing.
Yeah,
him
I
and
could
resting
see
him.
them
Which I could
sitting
see that.
him
Yeah.
and not participating in that
Does
game.
that count as a Miami
That's
loss?
the
though,
thing.
If he doesn't play.
Yeah, but I don't think he's the X factor of the team though.
Who? Messi?
Messi.
Whoa.
No. Sorry. All right, so this will be a hot take. He's not the X factor. It's Busquets. Let's keep it 100%.
Or is it like the Barca squad?
No,
that
not
came
even
in?
that. Like
Okay.
he.
Right,
All right, so like if you,
Go on.
if
Let
you
him
look
cook.
at the
Let
last
him
4
cook.
games, every other ball, who does they go through?
Kermashki.
But who's been scoring the goals?
That's my problem.
No. All right, cool. You can have moments.
I know what you're trying to say.
You can have moments,
yeah.
but who's controlling the game?
Yeah.
Sure, Busquets, and I think forever there's been this like aura around Busquets as being like the puppet master. Like when
Yeah.
he was with Barcelona, like
Yeah.
they're saying this guy is one of the best players in the world who doesn't have the stats because you can't really quantify what he
No.
does on the pitch. But that's an interesting point. I think Messi is still like Busquets wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Messi.
I have a
at the same
hot
time.
take right now.
Give it.
So Messi is Messi, but he is
Messi's trash, bro.
No.
That's what I'm hearing.
Say it, bro.
No, but if it wasn't for a Xavi, Iniesta, and a Busquets, Messi would have been Messi all his career.
And that's because he's a Madrid fan.
So Messi wouldn't be anything if it
thank
wasn't
you
for
for
Messi.
context.
Thank
I'm
you.
saying.
Thank you.
Messi will be Messi, but it helps a lot when you have a Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets right there.
Right.
But I think that goes with any player. Like you could look at Jack Grealish
You
with
cannot put
Manchester
Edson
City.
Butter with those 3 guys. Edson Butter will be
Yo, that's a wild stray. That's a wild
yeah,
stray,
they're
bro.
both
Come
wild.
on.
I feel like what you're
Edson Butter will get you on the pod.
No, he turned us down. He turned us down.
Forget you, Edson Butter. You snappy. Beckham was giving you passes that you were missing. Forget you.
That is crazy. Edson's a good guy, man.
no, I feel like you're trying to say like, okay, like it's like basically the idea of like teamwork makes the dream work. Facts. But Messi is Messi for who he is and what he's done as a player on an individual level.
So you could be a straight A student with the cheat code and still be a straight A student.
But he's not having like he is. I think regardless of if he would have done what he did on any playing like surface. Like no matter where he was. The fact that he had those guys playing at Barcelona, sure, of course they helped him. Of course, they would have helped anyone.
Prior to
They would have
the
helped
World
Edson
Cup.
Buttle's
But-
career.
They
You know
would have
what?
helped them.
Yeah.
Prior to this World Cup, what was his knock with Argentina?
That he, I mean, like that
Okay,
was
but
unfair
here's the
though.
thing,
That was
like-
unfair.
It's like he didn't have that people playing up. This team this year, like the Argentina team, was great. They had people that can hit you,
Yeah.
that
Got
can
it.
play however you want.
Right.
Yeah.
So this probably been the best surrounding cast that Messi has had.
100%.
But like prior to that, like there's been a lot of great Argentinian teams, and they can never get over the hump for the simple reason that there can be no people controlling that middle. Messi can do Messi things, but without.
Yeah, but it's like any team sport, especially soccer. Like you can't. One player isn't gonna completely change the like. It's not like basketball where you put LeBron James on any team, that's gonna be a contender. Like
For 5 years it was.
Yeah.
But I think that what Messi brings isn't that. It's not just that he is a great player. It's just like who he is influences the ones around him to be great too. And that's why they execute, and that's why they make things happen. And that's what I think is happening with Inter Miami. Inter Miami might not have had that confidence and that mentality to continue to like. They wouldn't be where they're at with the Leagues Cup if it wasn't for Messi.
No,
but
and
Messi didn't control them and be like, hey, do this, do that.
But I
having
completely
Messi
agree.
on
I
your
completely
team was
agree.
like, hey, Messi's here, I'm about to
low-key, those defenses were
dominate.
starstruck
No,
when they were
But,
playing him
but
too.
and that's the point, though, is that when Messi's on the pitch, it's not just him helping out his own teammates. It's the opponents getting in their
The
own
idea
heads.
of Messi on the
what
pitch.
happened
knowing-
to Cruz Azul?
I was just about to say that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is exactly
Dude,
the point.
I would have been shook.
That's
I
what
would
I'm
have been
saying.
like,
that is the perfect example to see Messi's impacted because for the first 45 minutes, Cruz Azul were dominating Inter Miami. Yes, they ended up getting a crazy goal through Robert Taylor, but beyond that, Inter Miami looked honestly very nervous. They didn't know what to do. Cruz Azul looked very determined in what they wanted to do in that game against Miami. Messi comes on in the second half, and all of a sudden, Cruz Azul get nervous. All of a sudden, they get in their heads and they're stretched. But it's because when Messi's on the ball, 2 to 3 players are thinking, how can we cover this man? And then all of a sudden, you have Josef Martinez, Robert Taylor, Benjamin Karaski making runs in behind them, and then Messi has the talent to find them wide open.
First of
So
all,
because of that,
Joseph Martinez he has the ball. He's like, "Where's Messi? Where's Busquets?" Like, come on, bro. Like,
Hey,
you were like the top leading scorer for like a whole year. Like, have some confidence in yourself. Like,
you know who's
It's
the
coming
real
off an injury though.
You know
I think
who's
it's like
the
a
real
year-long
star of the
injury.
show though? Messi security guard.
I
Have
saw
you
that.
seen?
Oh,
Did you
last
see that
game.
clip, bro?
Last
What
game.
happened?
Yo,
What happened?
Crazy.
He runs wherever Messi runs.
There's a dude on the
And he's
sideline.
not even playing in the
that
team,
follows
like on the
Messi now.
game. Yeah.
It's like a dude looks like Michael,
Dude.
like what Jason Statham.
Anywhere
he's
Messi
like on
goes,
the
this guy's
sideline,
running with him.
and
just
he's
in case like someone
just
goes
like
out
a
on the
streaker
field.
Just in
comes out.
case,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yo, so
That's nuts.
he's shadowing Messi
He's
on the
literally
sideline.
shadowing.
Yeah.
He could be Messi. He could be Messi sub at this point.
Yeah, because
He
he's just
probably knows
waiting on
every
the
move.
sideline.
Hey,
does.
no, the endurance that guy has, crazy.
He was up.
So
like,
he's
quote-unquote.
basically he's on a
Yeah,
string with
literally,
Messi
like
on the
this.
sideline.
He's
I
He's
didn't-
just
running
like-
around.
I need to see this. This
It's
is crazy.
insane.
Someone-
he's
yeah,
definitely, like,
someone
hey,
said,
Mundo reported
so-
my last time.
The Paul's back at home with a
There's
smile on his
like
face.
reels out there
All
about
right,
it.
Julio, they're coming to LA in a
Knowing
couple
he's
weeks.
covered.
Yeah, knowing he's covered, he's okay.
You got to run onto the pitch and meet that guy halfway. See how close you can get to Messi.
I have
when he
a
comes
have a
back.
wig. I have a hot pink wig you can wear.
Christ, Julio.
We got
This guy's off his rocker, man.
The end of Messi is what you want.
No, I won't hit him, but like I just want to picture me acting like I'm slide tackling him for the angles.
So you'll be
Angles
behind
would
him.
be
You'll be
crazy.
behind
Won't
him.
even be
Yeah,
close.
yeah,
I won't
yeah,
wait.
yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
It'll look
And then
amazing.
the
Oh,
reports,
yeah, imagine.
the
Like,
reports will
crazy.
say, like, did you see that guy
Tackling him?
that tried to like take his ass down? Who
While-
was like over there?
Show
While
that
we're
to
on the
your son.
topic of Argentina, I heard you guys have a trip out
Oh
there coming
yeah,
up.
somebody got to kiss the floor.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You
Tell
don't want
us.
to give us the
us the
backstory.
deep.
Yeah.
Let me give them the
I was
context
about
and
to
you
say,
butt
you
in.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't wanna
so
talk about this.
essentially, in the build-up to the World Cup last year, right? That's kind of where we gained our notoriety. Is people liked our World Cup analysis. We talked about every single team, and in the build-up, we kind of developed these takes, right? Our ideas, kind of like how you're a little anti-Messi, more towards Busquets. We had a
First of all-
similar thing too.
First of all, I always say that Messi's my favorite player all time, even though I'm a Real Madrid fan.
Damn.
I just have hot takes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
finish
I
up.
respect
That's
that.
actually very
No, I respect
fair.
that. And that's,
I
and that's,
re- I
I'm gonna let
respect
you
that.
and that's
finish,
what
though.
happened with us. We had hot takes. We had hot takes, and more specifically, my boy Soltero had an incredibly hot take where he
Amazing hot take.
believed that Argentina, because of the team that they faced, because of the players they had at that moment, would not be able to lift the World Cup. And he like dug into that, right? And when you post reels, when you post TikToks about that, the South Americans come out.
TikToks especially.
And they
He's-
come through in the comments.
TikToks, yeah.
TikToks.
Right? And so we made a wager with them. We said, okay, if Soltero's wrong, then he will go and kiss the soil in Argentina as a way to forgive or ask for an apology
I will ask for
That's
forgiveness.
from
crazy.
the Argentine
I'll do
people.
it.
Hey, that's okay,
I would
so
never. I would have quit. I'd be like, I'm out. Urban Pitch.
right, no, you get a trip to Argentina out of that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like
I'll
out
take
of
a
my
sub
own
home.
pocket.
No, I know. I know.
That's
You
an
have
L
to pay
shirt.
for it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Roy, are you gonna pay for my trip? If I
Damn, producer
We gotta pay for
Roy.
a trip to
To
Toulouse.
Milan. To Milan.
What the hell happened with Milan?
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Milan's
look.
your team?
So no.
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 You gotta hear this out.
keep going
Is that a
with your
punishment?
story,
No,
and then
wait,
we'll
finish
go
your
into
story.
Finish your
yeah.
story, and then we'll get into the Milan
Okay,
story.
and
after
so
that.
fast forward 1 month, Argentina lifts the World Cup after a penalty shootout
Like
with France.
8 a.m. in the morning.
And an insane result.
I was blacked out by then.
Hell
Messi lifts the World Cup, and thus
Damn.
Soltero has to go kiss the soil. And thus, the rest of the Give and Go agrees to schedule a trip to Argentina in December, 1 year anniversary of the
Boom,
World
boom.
Cup victory. We will be kissing.
Dang.
Well, I won't be kissing it, but you'll be kissing the soil.
So it's
Yeah.
official?
Yeah.
Are the
There's
tickets?
a-
I gotta
It's
apologize.
official.
I gotta,
We already
I gotta
know the
apologize
dates.
to Moroccans.
We're gonna.
There's a little grass area. Are you gonna lift up the soil that you kiss?
Yeah, so we've been asking around where's the best place to kiss the soil in Argentina. Apparently, there's like a central plaza
Yeah.
area, like a
Yeah.
citadel. I don't know. It's somewhere in Buenos Aires.
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna try.
At
to go to
least
Argentina
you-
out of it,
Right.
you know?
At least you get to go
You
to
get a trip.
Argentina. You be out there.
Yeah,
Eat some steak.
I'm gonna try and catch a game. There's gonna be a final of the Copa de la Liga Profesional, is what they call it. So hopefully I'll catch a final there. Enjoy some Argentine football.
Make the
you
most
know.
out of it.
Make the
Honestly.
most out of it.
You have to at that
And
point.
they're known as the best fans. Like you see videos of River fans, Boca fans. Like it's crazy.
Dude, the one chant,
Scary.
the Si Senor chant, you know which one I'm talking about?
Maybe.
Where they're talking about, I think,
Is it
I'm not
Boca,
gonna do it.
River? Do you
It's
know?
River. It's River
Okay.
Plate. They're doing, it's a Copa Libertadores chant that they're doing. And every time, like, it'll come up on, like, my feed, like, every, 3 months. Every single time. It's like a 2-minute video. I'll watch a 2-minute
you
video
hyped.
every single time
Yeah.
because just, like, it's a
Nice.
crazy, yeah.
Well, there you go.
I'm a Boca fan, so okay, gallinas. But like, yeah, I just see videos back and like, even Boca talk about how River went to like the B division, and like,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
how like every game like they play against each other. It's like, you know what, you can beat us, but we're not forgetting.
They had to
I-
move.
I-
got relegated.
Man.
They had to move that final to Spain.
Yeah.
Because of
Exactly,
like.
'cause,
Yeah,
like,
the
Damn,
violence.
you
and-
can't be a top team and get
Damn.
regulated.
Damn.
Yeah.
So the only team in Argentina is like, you know what, like that's what they, even though River has been better than them the last 2 years,
Yeah.
Boca still has that over their head, like, hey, we never been relegated, and we're still the top team in Argentina.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But that's just like, like that's the kind of level of like fandom and like culture within, football that you want to have. Like that's, and I hope that one day we get to experience that. Doesn't have to be that violent.
Violence?
But no, not that violent, but just like
Well,
that.
you might
like,
get that if you go to
die
Italy.
hard.
Oh,
That's my fantasy.
So let's talk about AC
Let's talk
Milan.
about this.
Let's
All
talk
right.
about Milan.
Ramsey, go.
I literally
Okay.
just told Ramsey, I don't want to give this anymore.
No.
I know.
What happened?
but
What
we're
happened?
going to.
Bridget, we gotta
So-
talk about it.
Before the World Cup,
Basically, I'm just kidding.
we were doing an episode. I think it was either previewing the World Cup or it was during the World Cup. We're
Talk about
previewing-
USA England.
We're talking about the U.S. men's national team.
Okay.
And
Let
I
me
think it
give
was
context here because,
No, Bridget,
Yes.
relax.
okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Dude, I don't
okay.
know. I really
so
don't.
so at first it was just a very innocuous conversation. We were with the For the Culture podcast. Shout out to them. And we were bringing up the U.S. men's national team's chances at the
Predictions,
at the
blah,
World
blah,
Cup, whatever, blah blah blah. And then somehow Christian Pulisic got brought up because they have a bit on For the Culture that he's U.S. agent. They call him U.S. agent. So he's like just.
Is it for the culture? Never mind. I thought it was for the culture.
Yeah. So they're like, they talk about him as like the face of U.S. soccer, but that's like he's like an agent. So he's not like the actual. He's like a.
Oh, he's a plant.
Right,
Like an
exactly,
industry
exactly.
We're saying
Right.
Tyler Adams.
And
McKinney
I was saying,
like, yeah.
I stepped in and I was like, okay, I said a few things like, oh, he ain't even all that. He's a basic representation because
of a white boy.
of a
a
white
white-
man only because I
Damn,
feel like
Bridget.
the U.S. men's national team has diverse men coming in, brown and black men that are representing the U.S. for who the U.S. is.
Yeah.
We are a diverse
And that's the whole
state.
point
Melting
with.
pot.
No, and
Yeah,
we all-
a diverse
and we all
melting
And
pot.
we all
And-
agreed. And so that's
and
the
I
point
don't
of.
think-
Tyler Adams, McKinney
I don't
were-
think that they
were
were
the
giving
faces.
credit where credit was due.
Right.
Great. He's a great player. he's dope, whatever. Like I give him credit for that, but I don't think that he's the face
And
of
now
the
Ramsey
team.
thinks-
Right,
Sorry.
and so
we
that's the
have
whole point of
diversity
U.S.
in it.
Agent is that there are other
Right.
players on
Who should
the
get more
USM,
credit.
the USMNT who
Right.
should be the
Tyler
face,
Adams.
who should be the face
Tyler
of
Adams.
the
But
they're
US
not as good as
national
Pulisic.
Right. Can I say something?
No, but wait, let him finish the story, then we can get into it.
team. And then we can get into the
Yeah,
Pulisic.
we can get into it.
He
But
loves Pulisic.
So
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead, go
so
ahead.
that was her. So she has,
that was like what I said.
and there's a
Understandable.
clip. There's a clip of her saying like he's basic, he's short, you know, he's all this. Like I wouldn't even date him. Blah blah blah.
right.
Around those lines.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Fast
if
forward.
it's Pulisic or Tyler Adams, I'm gonna pick Tyler
Yeah.
Adams. Like,
But so fast forward, we're at a AC Milan event a month ago.
Pulisic was there.
And
The
so
whole
this
team
is where
was
we got
there.
this is where we got the jersey. They
Shout out to
bring
AC Milan, we love
they
you.
brought out some players. They brought out a handful of players
Okay.
there. Giroud was there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Giroud,
yeah.
all
Dope.
Thiago.
Theo Hernandez was out there.
Theo,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so
What a
Pulisic,
beast.
and then Pulisic,
Beast.
of
Of
course,
course,
is there.
Pulisic was there too.
And
Gotta
so
be.
all of a sudden, she's like, "Hey, yo, Christian, like, what's good, my boy? Like, good, dapping him
way.
up, like, talking to
no,
him."
wait,
That
no,
close?
no, it gets better, but
And
wait,
then-
there's
so
more.
You're
Takes a-
Two-Face.
Yeah,
Is
so,
that what
so,
it is?
so takes a picture
I
with
took
him
a picture with him and other players
and
too.
other players too,
Yeah.
and other players too. But I saw that.
Yeah.
That
As a
opportunity
moment.
as like a content,
talked
you know,
about it.
for like as a content thing is to put the clip of her talking
Right.
about Pulisic.
Shout out to
with
the
the-
pitch admin.
Yeah, I
with-
came up and I was like, not me just talking about him, and I'm taking a picture
yeah,
with him. You know.
and so we posted that picture and then or that video of her talking smack about
before.
Pulisic, and then cut to a picture with him.
mind you, I gave consent to that because I thought it was funny. Like,
First of
Yeah.
all,
Oh, yeah,
always
yeah,
give
yeah.
consent.
Yeah.
Yes,
Always
yes,
get
consent
consent.
is
yeah,
key.
yeah.
Always
There's,
get
yeah,
consent.
there's nothing
Okay.
behind
And
that.
then
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
behind
then
that.
also we post that to whatever the socials. All of a sudden, these Pulisic profile
but mind
picture.
you, a day later, like
Yeah.
first day, cute, funny, ha
Sure,
ha ha,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
And
All
then,
our friends.
Then
and then
all my friends
yeah.
supportive.
And then
The next
the algorithm
day.
picked it up, and all
Soltero
these
got on
Christian
there.
Pulisic fans,
They
probably
picked
one of your
it up.
burners, probably one of your burners is in there, like
Probably.
yo,
Soltero was probably in
Who
there.
was
probably
like,
in shit.
talking mad, yo, this complete out of pocket,
Look at
like,
basic Maria.
you know, like
It was one of the
she's
comments.
like you know, like
It
all
got
this completely
rude.
Also, they
disrespectful.
attacked.
Yeah,
No, they
yeah,
dragged.
To the
yeah.
point,
Dude.
to the point, I was laughing, and Ramsey was higher
Mind you,
defending her.
okay, mind you.
I was, yeah.
No, not only that. Like, mind you, I have my notifications off on Instagram because I'm a busy person. Like, I'm not tripping about who's
Hey,
on
shout
my
out-
Instagram.
shout out to
and
Bridget.
I'm private. Like, ain't nobody coming for
Alright,
me on
for
a
sure.
regular day.
Okay.
I get on
moving.
Instagram, like, on a break that I had. And I'm like, why do I have like 400 follow requests? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I check and I'm
My
just like,
OnlyFans
where
is
are
out.
all these comments? And I click and I'm just like, yo, I had like 5 minutes of like, who
Nah.
am I? Like, I'm not, like, what do
Damn,
I
man.
do with my
Yeah,
life? Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't read a comment in 6 months.
like doubting like what I was saying. But at the same time, I was like, I'm gonna stand my ground. Like, I'm not gonna take back what I said. But also, where are these people coming from? And I told Ramsey, I'm like, yo, these comments are getting out of hand because they were.
We were thinking
That's how it
about
goes.
you know closing the comment section, you know,
Yeah.
doing all this, but
I was like, let them talk because we're not
let
gonna
'em get it off their
respond.
No,
chest.
it doesn't mean anything because people just latch on to negativity on social media.
Sure.
But
it's
it's
just
just-
gonna be
We-
like
we
that.
know
It's
that.
It's just gonna
crazy
be like
how
that.
many stands he has. Like,
Yeah.
but
Right?
it was
Imagine
like,
Argentina.
no.
Well, you were
Definitely
wrong
not
in
bad.
your approach, though.
okay, let's hear it. Let's
You
hear
were
it.
wrong,
Let's
because-
hear it.
I
Let's
wasn't
go.
wrong.
So
Go off, King.
yeah.
Go off, King.
It's his turn. It's his turn.
It's gonna be very short. It's gonna be
we
very.
have a Pulisic stand here.
It's gonna be very
He
short.
is.
Pulisic.
He is a stand.
Hey, go off, King.
Like Pulisic.
Pulisic.
No, the answer is very, very simple and it's very, very short. Ever since Pulisic hit the scene for the U.S. men's national team, it was clear, and I mean crystal clear, that he is the best American player that has ever lived. Ever lived.
It's
And I'm talking talent-wise, I'm talking his ability on the ball, his ability to dribble past players, to score, to impact a game. There has never been a U.S. men's national team player as good as Christian Pulisic. So because of that, he has to be the face of America. He has to be.
So
I
they're-
beg to differ.
No.
Reynoso had
I beg. I beg.
Reynoso had
Yeah, I'm
the he had
translating.
that
I'm just
speech.
translating.
He had
No,
that
but
speech.
I beg to
There's,
differ, though.
there's
Because,
no,
like,
there's Tyler Adams, amazing player. He's not as good as Pulisic.
No, the attacking
Weston
player,
McKennie,
the
amazing
attacking
player.
player
Not as good-
always gets the credit, but no, he all right, he's great. But because we've been American fans for so many years that we're like, oh my God, we get a B+ student. He's amazing. But like to when Pulisic doesn't perform, Tyler Adam McKinney brings to the team where like that grittiness, that hey, no, you're not. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna get in your face.
It just goes back to what we were saying about Messi. Like, one team is not one player. And you got to give credit to the people around him who are making him great too. And I think that this is where my comment was going. It was just like, he is not the face because not everyone on the team doesn't look like him anymore, doesn't have the same complexion as him anymore. And I think that we got to give credit to the fact that the U.S. men's national team and the women's U.S. national team are becoming more diverse. And
two things can be true, though.
You know, and
Two things can be
and
true.
I think that we both have.
Yeah.
It's like the representation side and then the
Yeah,
tactical
that matters.
side.
Absolutely.
And that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like,
absolutely.
I
But
wasn't
there's
saying
also
he's not a
greatness.
bad player.
But let me-
I'm not
let me-
saying he's a bad
Let me
player.
digress though. I think the best player in the last few games has been Wea, to be honest.
I disagree there, but I see what you're saying. But
Oh hell no.
regardless, though, I think if you really look at how good Pulisic is, it's hard to not make him the face of the team.
Right.
It's
He
hard
could
to
be,
not do it.
So I think you can have Pulisic as the face of the team, but maybe do a couple things on Tim Weah, or maybe
sure.
feature Weston McKennie, or maybe feature Tyler Adams a little bit.
Or like top three.
You mean like
or
marketing wise? What do you mean?
Right, I think
Like,
that's what we're
yes,
going here.
yes.
Marketing.
So
'Cause I don't really
market
keep up with that.
market some of the other players, like give the effort that you're giving to Pulisic. Put that effort onto other players too, because while he could be the best, he sure. Let's for argument's sake, let's say Pulisic is the best player on the team, right? Let's say he's the only one playing for top level teams and getting like significant playing time when he's healthy, right? Because that's an argument you can make. Like Tyler Adams was playing for who last year? He was playing for Leeds. They got relegated, right?
My thing is you could take Pulisic off that team and put somebody else, and it'll still be that team.
AC Milan?
I don't know.
I'm talking about the U.S.
I don't know because
I'm talking about the U.S.
I don't know because I think Pulisic has not
Well, scoring a penalty against Mexico and becoming champions. Like,
no, but
come on, he didn't do
about
that
his
game.
effect, bro. It's
No,
about
he
his
didn't
effect
hit
when he's
that game.
on the ball.
Scored a penalty.
He scored a header against us most recent time.
And the Iran goal too. But
I know.
No. So
fan.
what I'm saying is though, you can like the argument for him being the best player is that's not what we're arguing here. The argument
Right.
is that
That's my argument.
the spotlight. Sure. Yes.
Right. We got two different.
Yeah, bro, he's the
I know,
That's
and that's why I'm trying to make
But
this
he
point.
didn't go.
But
He didn't get
keeps-
dragged. I did.
Yeah. No, but
I think
the
he's
argument is the argument is that instead of putting all this focus onto
monster
Pulisic,
over here, bro.
maybe share the spotlight with some of the other players
exactly.
who are still maybe not as world class, that are not playing for world class teams. Like Weston McKennie, he got hurt. Like there was a period of time where he was getting
He was
looked
playing
at
well.
by. He was playing at
he
a
got
very very high level.
Now
No, sorry.
go for it.
No, what I was going to say is, if you look the midfield three, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa,
Yeah.
I think they make up the best trio the U.S. men's national team's
Can-
midfield has ever
Sure.
had.
Okay.
Yes.
Completely
Ever
agree.
had.
Yeah.
And you can definitely cover that, but here's the problem. You're marketing to an average U.S. viewer, a consumer. Who do they need to look at?
To be
They
an
need to-
American.
They
They want the white guy, bro. Like forget these. Like,
Bring in the white
they want the
guy.
white guy scoring goals.
but not
That
even,
doesn't talk to anybody at the.
Right, not even the complexion of it, of the color of the skin, but purely highlight wise.
Yeah.
Highlight wise.
Right.
It's so easy to market Pulisic.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
a
when
good
you
point.
try, look, I am Yunus Musa's biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to pop off at Milan, and I think he's going to easily get in that starting lineup and just have an incredible season. The problem is when you try to market that to a average U.S. consumer, how do you market midfield play?
Yeah.
You can't
Exactly.
do that.
I agree.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
Like you can show highlights of him turning players, but that's not what people are gonna like.
We want the
understand.
goals, bro.
They
We want the
want
goals, bro.
goals. So
Did you see the goal Pulisic scored?
that's what I'm saying.
That was a
AC
banger.
Milan
That was a
debut,
banger.
bro.
though. That was a banger.
It's
That was a
a
banger.
banger.
That was a banger.
Yeah.
It's a banger. So like, not only is Pulisic the most easily marketable because of just the position that he plays, but he also does back it up by being incredibly talented. So I think like the argument can exist, but it's like when you try and take all the components and put them together, it's like, well, okay, I can kind of see why Pulisic is the guy.
No,
But not to say that they're like Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, or Robinson
Way
on the
up.
left,
Yeah.
Serginho Dest,
Balogun
Balogun, yeah, Balogun,
My
yeah.
God,
Yeah.
the talent on this team
Right.
is so much more than Christian Pulisic, but it's just too easy to market him.
No, and I love that we have this argument because it was Donovan and who else?
Right.
So, like,
Michael Bradley.
To have this argument.
Hey, good player.
No, Bradley was a.
Bradley,
was a
and
baller.
then
No, but
Dempsey.
Dempsey, yeah.
Dempsey, yeah.
Texas
Yeah.
boy. Texas
Don't
boy,
tread on
baby.
this.
Yeah, don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Don't tread on
Yeah.
me. But it goes back to like football, like American football, hyping up these scores for
Quarterbacks.
no reason. 21-7. It's barely. It's 3-1.
Touchdowns.
It goes back to like that score. Like they want us to hear the goal because like everybody's argument is like soccer's boring. It's 2-1. No, bro, it's 14-7. Like,
Yeah.
Relax.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall the U.S. is trying to get to something big because they're hosting the World Cup in 2026. That's massive, right? And how they market it, that's a good point. I got to start paying more attention to that because I want to see how they go about promoting these amazing players that they have. And I know this firsthand because I'm a Mexico fan. I'm a Mexico fan out here struggling against.
Good luck, bro.
And we got
She's-
two
she's
Mexico,
on the boat with you.
Yeah, two Mexico,
Mexico?
players playing in the U.S. men's
Yeah.
national team. So it's just like, there's the
Stories to be
representation-
told.
there's
for
the
sure.
storytelling for me is what I was getting to.
For sure.
The storytelling and the people who are on the team.
And then she
look
also
at what
said
we've
that
done.
he was mid-looking too.
And
Like,
I still stand by it. He is like he's the type of guy I would
He's
swipe left on
good-looking.
Hinge. Like I'm not gonna say no.
See, she's doubling down.
Why?
When you have a
Why?
hot take, you
Because
gotta
he's a
double
soccer
down.
player?
No, because
Take away his soccer fan.
No.
Take away him as a player.
if it's just if
Take
he
away
was like
him
an
as a
accountant,
player.
if he was an accountant
Yes.
working at PwC or
yeah,
whatever,
He's just
yeah.
not your type,
Left,
though.
bye.
He's just not your type.
He's just not my type.
But
Yeah, why
objectively-
can't I say that?
Good looking guy.
I would swipe left.
She wants some
Thank
pigmentation
you.
in her.
Just because he's the
Or at
greatest
least
soccer
some
player for some people, I get that. But I was just saying, like, I feel like we still need to give credit to the other players on the team because it's time to show that the U.S. men's national team represents more than just the American
scorer.
standard. Yeah.
I
I
see.
think that we need to give credit to that because the World Cup is coming to the U.S. in 2026 or whenever it might be. And there's more audience out there that need to understand what that means for the U.S.
To
And there's more
piggyback on-
youth that need to see
Yeah.
what that looks like and what that feels like, to feel like there's a time and a place that like I could potentially be playing in that, team.
No, and
Wow.
just to finish that off.
Yeah, that's actually okay.
And that's
I,
not period.
Yeah,
We can-
I
they're both.
completely-
They're good points.
and that was
Yeah,
the
they're good
both-
points
Look,
made.
here.
I completely.
You know what?
And that
I
was the
feel
argument
like
with
I
women's soccer.
completely
though.
agree.
you completed my
Huh.
half.
Yeah. Completely agree, though.
No, but to get
I
back
feel
to
it now.
To get
representation.
back to that, like
I actually get it. It took me a while to fully understand what you're saying, but actually, I now that you put it,
It
like
wasn't
that,
the tactical side of
it's
things.
right.
I'm
right.
scared that the U.S. will do that because that will draw away like the dual nationals towards the U.S. side.
no, but that was the hard.
like that's gonna if
Yeah.
people
Oh,
start
yeah,
spreading
yeah, yeah.
news,
It's bad.
It's bad for Mexico, man.
No, dude, that's how I
Ultimately,
felt when I
US
saw Brandon and what's his name?
Brennan
Vasquez.
Oh, and
Brandon
Zendejas.
and
Zendejas.
Zendejas.
Yeah.
I was kind of hurt.
Man,
I'm
they
like,
should
look
be.
Hispanic, but they
But
chose the U.S.
Zendaya.
But like the talent you guys get is like the left back from the Galaxy. What's his name? Araujo. Like this guy's trash.
Efrain. What about
why
Efrain?
you gotta do a mess like that?
Damn, dude, give him a chance, bro.
Efrain, you guys get Efrain.
Give him
like,
a
oh my God.
chance, bro.
Oh my God, this talent that we're getting to Mexico. Like,
I'm sorry,
he just
were-
got
were you
started,
guys in
bro.
the World
He's
Cup
like
in
you
the
with
last-
golfing.
Were you guys in
No,
the
I'm
World
talking
Cup?
about-
Yeah, all right.
Let's talk
So
about
sit
Araujo
down.
being
Sit
here,
down.
being
Sit
American talent that
down.
y'all stole. Like,
It's
we
early.
don't give you
It's early.
Efrain and Araujo. Like, here, have him. We'll sign the paperwork.
Talk to us when
He's
you
a
make it to
galaxy
the World
kid. He's a
Cup.
galaxy kid, and I see the right. I said, when it comes to the national level, who do you guys support? Is it USA?
Oh,
She's
I'm
Mexico.
Mexico.
She's
all the
Mexico.
way, yeah.
I'm USA.
USA.
Yeah.
What you just said about the U.S.
Slash El Salvador.
No, because
Shout out to
here's
us.
another context. Growing up, I grew up in a Mexican household. Like I didn't
Okay,
even know who
good,
played
yeah.
for the U.S.
But she's also
until I
passionate
met
about the
with
U.S. national team too.
I am passionate on the representation side.
Yeah.
I am their DEI advisor. At this point.
Self-appointed?
Yeah, I'm self-appointed.
Okay. You'll take care of that department.
But we are running out of time here. I always have to do
We
this,
got, like,
and I always
through
feel
half
like
of
the
the
cops.
things.
I know. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
we could
Shit,
be
we
here for
can
another
shock
7
Honestly,
hours.
We
we
can
can.
shotgun
No.
these.
Hey.
We could do 2 episodes.
Let's shotgun these real
That's
quick.
Part
no.
one,
We
part
got to do a
two?
continuation,
Part one, part two.
episode when we do a team trip to Austin.
Hey.
That's
Hey.
new.
We finished the
That's new.
conversation in
You're always
Austin.
welcome. Always welcome.
Because there's a lot to talk about out there in Austin too.
Yeah, we could talk
It's not as
barbecue.
diverse as the women's national team anymore.
That's decent.
You want to
point.
dissect that?
Yeah. We
Right
can.
now?
That'll be the
In
podcast.
this
That'll be the
moment?
topic for the next
Documentary on that.
Shout
But
out to Stagecoach.
yeah,
This is for real it though?
yeah.
Just
We're
got
We just,
started.
I know,
we
I know,
were
we're-
just getting
it's-
started.
Hey, so
Yeah.
we got to blame the producer on this one because our budget cannot the
Go
studio
past.
space. We can't rent it anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah, like, it's
No.
over our budget right
We
now.
get
We're
this
over
is our
budget.
we're on like warning 2.
Yeah.
Warning
I
3,
know.
we're
So
out.
more
yeah.
All right.
But Soltero, Reynoso, thank you guys so much. Where can we find the Give and Go podcast?
Give and Go at the Give and Go on every social media platform you can think of: Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Once again, thank you guys for having us, man. One of the best podcasts out there in terms of football, the Urban Pitch Podcast. Thank you guys for having us for real. Thank you guys for
real.
welcoming us,
Yeah, we appreciate
giving us
it.
shots, talking footy, debating. This is our first actual appearance together on a different
Ooh,
podcast.
Yeah.
Like, it's our
period.
first,
Yeah.
it's our first feature. So it's a
Because
special.
we bring the vibes and the culture together.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes, it had to be Urban Pitch.
Shout out to brown people.
I guess
This
so.
is a great podcast. If you're still listening, shout out to you. I
Yeah.
love these kind of debates where they're like organic and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
necessary. So
But I just enjoy that. This is the face of soccer. Honestly, how diverse it is. We brought the five-a-side,
Yeah.
bringing you guys on. This is soccer. Growing up, I said it plenty of times, it was an immigrant sport, and now these second-generation kids that grew up in this country are talking about our lives and how we see footy to the point where now America's catching on.
yep, and different states coming together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There it is.
It's gonna make me cry.
Tune in for more.
Yeah, keep it tapped in. Bridget's
Tap,
Bridget's doing her practice for when I'm gone in
Yeah,
a
I'm
couple
trying to
weeks.
practice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over.
Are you gonna take over?
Yeah.
Yeah,
host
so
Bridget.
I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be out. Bridget's
I'm not
gonna.
to be trusted.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't
But-
show up on time.
Yeah. No.
Golfing.
But this has
Right.
been the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. Soltero Reynoso.
Thank you.
Julio Monteroso, Bridget Flores. I'm Ramsey Abushala. Keep it tapped on. We got more stuff coming in the future. We appreciate everybody who's been watching. Leave us a comment. Let us know who won the argument because we had some, you know what I mean?
some fun ones.
Yeah. So please, wholesome comments. We've had enough toxic stuff in our
I'm
comment
just getting
section, but
over it.
yeah, we're just getting over it. But appreciate y'all for listening. We'll be back for more. But until then, we're out of here.